Welcome to Not Average Cinema. I'm Zach.
Boo! And I'm Pepper, and it's a spooky video we're doing here today.
As you can see from the pumpkin.
Yeah, scared me when I opened it up.
Yes, it was pretty scary when I first saw it. But yes, we are doing our top 10 favorite horror movies. And I will say, just right off the bat, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, I like watching a horror movie, especially in, the month of October. Usually all the streaming services have
Yeah.
all these horror movies on. I'll usually watch a couple new ones each year. But I feel like overall, I'm not a person that watches them multiple times. Usually they're like one-offs. I don't know
Yeah.
if anyone watching this, do you tend to feel like you go back and watch horror movies multiple times? Um, Outside of maybe like you might have specific ones you're like, I like this one and
Yeah.
this one. Do you watch other ones multiple times, or are you kind of just one and done? Versus like I know comedies tend to be my favorite movies, and sometimes action movies. And those are the ones I tend to go back to. Horror just doesn't seem to be a genre I go back to. So I'm going to put
Yeah.
that up front that most of these I probably haven't watched that many times, and I probably gave myself more leeway than maybe Pepper did. We'll see.
I heard you were giving yourself leeway, and I may have given myself some leeway.
Okay.
Something that I keep you up at night, horror tends not to be like in my top things, something a
Yeah.
little more light and rewatchable. Because I don't know, just that kind of horror. How rewatchable is it? It's like you know what scares are coming. Like that's where those movies thrive in kind of the unknown, not knowing what's coming next, and don't know if they can survive on additional watch. But we
Yes.
tried our
That's
best, and we have 10 here, and there's a couple extras
that's
that
true.
didn't quite make the list. So if you want 20,000 more
Or we could
scary
maybe
horror
do
movies,
top 10 movies that actually were scared or like scared us. We
that's
don't
true.
want to go
That's
back
true.
to
That's
maybe.
true. Scary. I know that. I know a couple for you and for me.
I know a couple as well. Yes.
But yeah,
But are we starting with
I
me?
think you
Well,
are leading us off. That's how the list was made for this the same slideshow. I just switch out the pictures. So I guess for eternity, it's going to be you and then me.
that sounds good. And my first one is kind of one of those maybe cheat. Some people would probably say, I don't count that, and some people are probably going to also argue because these are part of like a series. And I don't know if Pepper put them on here. I did. I chose two of them that I liked. I don't really like the other ones in this kind of series of movies, but the scary movies, number three and number four. Um,
Yeah, threw in the one with Dr. Phil, that poster
okay.
I preferred.
That one works. But yeah, I tend to like it when there's a little comedy in the horror kind of genre, and it usually doesn't like this doesn't. I wouldn't think there's any moments that are actually probably scary, but I think it does a good job at kind of looking at some of those horror films, and it's something that you can rewatch, but and then you can kind of get reminded of, oh yeah, there's The Grudge or the what is it,
Yeah,
Saw or Dr.
yeah,
Phil show, all those scary things out there. Or even basketball, the NBA is pretty scary.
yes.
Um, and yeah, I feel like I don't like one and two that much, but I could see there being people out there that like one and two and
Yeah.
don't like three and four and five, I guess, or however many they
Yeah,
have.
for some reason, I imagine that that's probably the majority view, but I'm with you. I like three and four the most. Maybe that's just the ones we grew up watching and grew
Yeah,
to like. And although I think Nielsen, Leslie, is he in both of these? He's in three, I think. He's in
he's
one
in
of them,
three as the president.
which I'm like, I don't think he's in the first two, so that immediately brings them up a notch.
That's true.
But
Exactly.
I think they're actually pretty spooky. I mean, like you look at the little grudge boy, I'm like, it can't not be spooky, even if you're
That's
having
true.
it in a funny setting. Like I
Well,
still get a little spooked out.
yeah, it is spooky. Yeah, and yeah, that's if we were doing scariest movies that I don't want to return to, I definitely The Grudge would be one of them for me.
No, yeah,
That
that,
kind of stuff, yeah, scares me. I
that
don't
is
like it.
the Japanese stuff. Ugh. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you're already cheating with a series of movies. Well, two movies. And I don't think I'm cheating. I'm singling out one in the classic. George Romero zombie franchise, and that is Day of the Dead is my preferred one of those originals. You have the black and white Night of the Living Dead, the one in the mall, the original one in the mall, not the 2004 remake. And then the third one's Day of the Dead, and I just like this one the most, and I think mainly it is that center zombie there holding that weapon there. It's they're kind of in a bunker in this movie, and there's a scientist experimenting, seeing if there is anything left in the mind of the zombie, and I think Bub, the zombie, is maybe my favorite character in the franchise of movies, and there's actually a lot of memorable characters in this one, and it feels way less dated than the previous two movies, where those ones felt like, oh, this is really dragging the movie down, black and white, or whatever decades those are from. This one feels from like 80s or something like that, but it adds to it. It adds a flavor instead of detracting. And by far, I think my favorite of his zombie films.
Yeah, I have not seen this one, but would you say I could watch just this one?
I think you could. I think you could watch just this one. I mean, they're all decent. Well, not they're all decent. The original three, maybe four, are decent.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
which
maybe I'd watch
you
it. I
might
don't.
enjoy, but
It's hit and miss for zombie movies for me.
yeah. But it's the classics. Gotta check them out.
That's true. That's true. Uh, yeah, but speaking of classics, classic villains and classic villains clashing. They don't always clash, but sometimes they do. And this is probably back-to-back hot takes of people not agreeing with me. But this one is takes two of the all-time horror
The
villains and
Tango.
tangles them. But Freddy versus Jason.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I don't know. To me, this just works. I know some people would probably be like, it doesn't work for me, whatever. But I think for what it is, having them go one on one, I think they do a great job at it and have kind of still this kind of group of kids and stuff in the middle of it. But
Yeah.
it comes down to, just them. And it really makes me like, think, could we get Freddy and Jason versus Alien and Predator? If we could get a tag team match between those two, because it was both kind of things that I actually like that other people probably don't. But yeah, in this one, yeah, they're facing off and kind of both getting in there. I don't know. It feels like they take each other to kind of their
Oh,
own
yeah.
realms and kind of face off in those ways. And I think it works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't just get the names, get the license, and throw out just a cheap cash grab. Like it felt like they actually put some effort to make it good, which I appreciate.
Whose movie would you say it is?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know. Like
I
Jason's
always
kind
thought of
of
it as Jason's film, but
because
I
I'm like
don't know.
Jason's more of the good guy. I would think
Yeah.
between the two, kind of like Alien Predator, but Freddy's the one with the personality, so it's kind of
Yes.
weird. Where
It
Predator,
is.
it's like he's the good guy and the personality. But this is kind of split to where I'm not sure,
No.
actually.
Yeah,
I
let us
am.
know if you have watched this. Whose movie is it?
Yes.
Or is it just both? 50-50.
50-50. Oh boy, my next one is a clash also of two movies in the same franchise that I don't know which one I would choose. But I put here for the poster The Conjuring, the first one. I don't like the second one as much as the first one. Most people would have those two as their top two. I like The Devil Made Me Do It, the third one. Uh, Initially, when I watched that the first time, I liked it more than the first Conjuring, but the first Conjuring is a modern classic. I like that they give you, with this franchise, characters to buy into with the main Warren couple here. I have not seen the fourth one yet. Looking forward to that at some point, but this one, director of Saw and Insidious, James Wan also directed Aquaman and one of the Fast and Furious films, so he's just got talent to do various different types of movies, and you may see him come up later on again on this list. But he just knows how to use the camera and bring these classic spooks. That this feels like a classic haunting story, but with a really good eye behind the camera and modern technology to make it really look good and not have to go back to all these old classic horror movies that maybe don't quite hold up. Um, and there's even some humor in this franchise as well. I just think it's a really good mix, never too dark, but also keeping the spooks.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like those are. I feel like I've seen like some of them, and
Yeah.
but couldn't really tell you which is which or anything about the
Yeah.
full movies. But yeah. I just realized I do not actually have mine in the exact order that I gave you. I just
Oh
wrote
boy.
10, and I happened to get lucky that Freddy vs. Jason was number 9.
Your
So you'll have to just go to my
your
number
next
8.
one is fitting that it's 8 because it might have that in the title.
Oh boy.
It is.
28 years later.
Yes.
And yeah, this is maybe recency bias, and a little bit of, I don't know. I feel like this year I've actually enjoyed some of the more horror themed movies. I feel like they've been, for me, some of the better ones of all the movies that have come out this year, which I feel like so far hasn't been maybe the greatest year in terms of films coming out. There's some good ones, but I think the horror ones for me have hit pretty well. And yeah, I'm excited because it's kind of in a way like part one, and they're already coming out
Okay.
with the second one just in a few months. So I'm excited for that, and I feel like depending on how that goes, could end up being like, okay, now I just see this as a total flop, as a because I it seems like they're gonna kind of go hand in hand together. So I feel like
Yeah.
everything could just totally fall flat after the next half of it, but or the next part. But
Yeah.
for what it is, and coming back to this years and years later after the last one, I think they did a really great job. They made it kind of feel a little bit fresh, brought
Yeah.
something new to it, but still kind of gave it the look that the 28
Oh yeah.
franchise kind of had a little kind of mix of the old and with a little bit of a some newer, fresher feel to it. So it's just something I really liked, and I think in general that's probably one of my other favorite, if not one of my favorite kind of zombie
Yeah. Yeah, would you
movie
say this is
franchises.
kind of the new lock placeholder for it, or do you think one of those would have made this if this hadn't come out? Would they make the list?
Uh, maybe could have. It probably brought it more freshly to my mind because I think it has been a little bit since I watched the other ones, but I do remember liking them. I don't know if it would have made it on my list or not.
Mhm. Yeah.
It might have slid on to like the last spot.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's another one that could be a hot take, kind of preferring 28 years to the others. I know there are some diehard fans which do not like the fresh ideas.
It's true.
My next one here is maybe another hot take, although there is a big movie YouTuber who has the same hot take, and that's why I was interested to watch Doctor Sleep. The follow-up. Do you know what this is the follow-up to?
The Shining.
The Shining. Yes, I think Sean Chandler prefers this to The Shining, which apparently one of his biggest hot takes. And I don't know. I think I've watched The Shining at least once. I did not want to rewatch it, but I wanted to watch this, so I just watched some recap videos of The Shining. Watched, I think, a director's cut extended edition of this. So it was like 3 hours and something. And it felt very epic and very big, even though it is just kind of based on this one character, which is the kid from the first film, kind of dealing with his trauma from the past and how that's affected his life. And as you guessed, having to go back and dig all this stuff up and deal with it once and for all. And there's some bold choices in here, some things that happen where I'm like, wow, I did not think they would go there with this story. Something that there's a moment in this where I was just like, I am in this story. I am ready to go. I'm ready to fight back after they just did that. and I was a lot more invested than I thought I would be in this sequel to a movie that I don't even like, and kind of blew me away a little bit. So this one I
Hmm.
just watched earlier this year, and it's a solid one. It's a solid one, even if you haven't seen. I'm sure there's a lot more if you are a fan of The Shining, a lot more payoff with some of the personal stuff, but even not being, I had a great time.
Hmm. I might have to watch this one then, because I figured uh, I just never really wanted to watch it because I was like, I don't know that I really like The Shining.
Yeah.
And yeah, whenever I think of The Shining, I think of South Park. I think the episode that Randy runs like a what is it? Uh, the movie Blockbuster, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's like a Halloween episode. So that's what I think of when I think of The Shining.
We should have thought of some of those. I know there's some more horror themed episodes of those various uh, animated sitcoms. They're
That's
kind of
true.
movies. That could be the rest of
That's
your
true.
list.
That could be the rest of my list, but yeah, I might have to watch this one then.
And
But
your
my next one
you
is
know
it
your number
a? Do
seven.
I get into vampires?
You get into vampires. You get into seven-letter titles even.
Oh,
Wait.
wow.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I know what this one is, and this is one that I think I watched in the theaters, but I don't think you did, but you did end up getting
Yep.
back to it at a later time. And I thought it ended up being pretty good because it wasn't just like a true vampire Dracula type movie
Yeah.
necessarily, but still had horror elements to it. But it started off as more of I don't know if you'd call it a is it a heist movie? Would you call it that?
Yeah,
Sort
a little
of,
bit of
kind
heist.
of
A little bit of
started
heist.
like that, and then it turned into a survival movie, and that
Yes.
is Abigail.
Yes. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and this one ended up I think when I was going to it, I'm like, this could be so hit or so miss. This I think like heard it pitched as vampire or ballerina vampire thing. I'm like, oh, what is this gonna
You're
be?
like, it's gonna be
Uh,
Megan all over again.
right, exactly, and yeah, just it ended up being a lot more interesting than I thought. I thought it had some good characters. Sometimes
Yeah,
I feel like that can be a weak point in certain movies, and I think it had. I think this one came out at the early end of the year or something,
I think
which I think
so.
was also a part that I was worried about. I was like, oh boy, you got kind of this weird combo early in the year versus kind of the horror time of the year. And but
Yeah.
yeah, I was very impressed by it. And there's enough of the kind of vampire element to it if that's what you look forward to. There's enough of that in the movie, but it's also not like full just pure vampire movie. It finds a really good balance of kind of somewhere in the middle between I don't know heist survival movie and
Oh, yeah.
vampire movie. I think.
Yeah, I think so. It nails that tone pretty perfectly.
Mhm.
Oh boy, my next one. So this one, I think this ended up making my top 10 of the year list, Abigail, and of that year. And this one, my number seven, made it all the way up to, I think, number two on that list of mine. So also Cult of the New. This is a sequel to a very happy, smiley movie, Smile 2. And this, like, there's so many movies. Like, you think, I probably judged the Smile franchise. Just like, I'm like, okay, here's another one of these. Some weird haunting gimmick movie that follows a character. This time it's smiling. Sometimes it's saying truth or dare. Sometimes it's doing this or that. Rock, paper, scissors. Where's that one? That's coming out next. Um, but this one, watched the first Smile, really liked it. I thought it was pretty well done. And again, I just like visually interesting kind of directors and direction for horror movies. And I think that that one was great. And I think the second one stepped it up even more, kind of bringing in this pop star life. So it's very colorful and energetic. I think the actress was great, the character. The songs, even the songs were great. It's always great when a soundtrack is also good for a movie. And I just felt really invested in this character, which most of the time in horror movies, you want them to die. And in this one, I'm like, you're fighting with that character, and you actually want to defeat this bad thing instead of seeing it take out as many people as possible, which is refreshing. So I really love this one and looking forward to the next one that they hopefully eventually make.
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty good, and this one was one that actually kept me up at night afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
There was something just creepy about the smiles. I think I might have even had like a nightmare afterwards with something relating to that. And it's also the first movie that I saw, like, you see, like, or you used to see, I don't know if I've seen it recently, but like audience reactions to, oh my,
Oh, yeah.
screaming or whatever, like these crazy overreaction kind of things to scary moments or things. It's like, it's not real. That's all staged, fake. This is the first time there were like people in the theater, like, just going somewhat crazy. It's crazy as I've seen.
Mm,
Not that level that you see in some of those
yeah.
whatever.
You're still in Minnesota. It doesn't get too
Still in
wild there.
Minnesota, don't get too crazy. But then someone actually walked up and left. They're like, "It's too
Yeah.
scary for me." I'm like, "Wow."
Wow.
Yeah, but it is creepy. It is
It
just
is.
a really creepy thing, surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
And
boy.
maybe that's why I didn't put it on here because maybe it's just too scary for me. But it was really well acted and really
Yeah.
keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. Oh boy. Do you know your neck? Oh, your
Is my
next
next
one.
one
It's
also new this year?
called to the. This might be your hottest. This might be the hottest take that I've ever heard.
And I think a lot of people are going to disagree too if they have any background with this.
Yeah.
That's from my understanding. I had no background with, this may have come from a kind of video game franchise, or I don't know if it's a franchise or just one video game, but yeah, it seemed interesting to me. I did not realize it was based on a video game initially, and I think I did figure that out before I did go into the movie, which made me a little nervous. Again,
Yeah.
was this one also towards the beginning of this year, though?
I think this is more in like April, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a little later.
But yeah, the movie Until Dawn. I think
Wow.
people are
Number
not going to
six.
agree with me.
Best horror movie of all time. No.
I,
No, it's
I feel like
favorites.
I
It's
haven't watched
favorites.
many of like
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't watched as many as I think I have. And a lot of the
Mhm.
ones that I watch are probably not actually great.
Yeah.
They're more gory than anything. And it's like, I don't know that I'd call that
Yeah.
great. And I could see the argument. I think there's probably other horror movies that kind of do some similar things to this. But I just found it fun. I
Yeah.
like the resetting of time and kind of facing off against like a new creature, different thing, like every night until and you're trying to survive until dawn.
Mm.
And I think it did a pretty good job. There are some things in it that I'm like, I kind of wish they would have done that differently. But then at the same time, I'm like, eh. Because like there's I think in the trailer there were like some things, and I'm like, oh, those kind of look interesting or whatever. But it was like a trailer within the movie when they revealed some of these things on this video camera. They're looking back and they're seeing this,
Wow.
so they're only seeing short clips as well. And I'm like, okay, I would have actually liked to see that uh, versus having to go back and watch just a short clip of it. But at the
Mm.
same time, I'm like, where do you cut the ends on, or do you have
Yeah.
this be like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour
Yeah.
movie? And I'm like, I think if it would have been like that, then I wouldn't have liked it. So I get why, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like I would have liked to maybe see that, or maybe if there was a extended cut, I might be willing to go back and watch like a
Okay.
full thing sometime or something. Uh,
Hmm.
I thought it was good for having no history with it, and yeah, like I said, I've enjoyed the horror style movies this year, and maybe it's just tickled an itch for me or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll
Yeah.
see. I'm trying to get Pepper to watch this. So that way I know like if I'm just have a total bad take
I I
or
should
what.
watch it. I should watch it. It's Halloween as it just turned Halloween as I speak. It might not be. No, not quite. In 9 minutes it'll be Halloween for you.
There
So
we go.
maybe I'll have to watch it for that. But my okay, so I actually had some pretty spooky ones with Conjuring, Doctor Sleep, Smile 2. Now we're probably going to the actual like, oh, these are close to my heart favorites. Gonna be a little lighter, and that is starting off with kind of I like creature features, and this is one of the best creature features ever made, and that is Anaconda. I mean, the cast. You got J-Lo, Ice Cube, Owen Wilson, John Voight, Eric Stoltz, I guess it could have been. He's something maybe to some people. I only know him from this. But I probably, well, Ice Cube, I guess I know from War of the Worlds, which might be showing up later. Who knows if that's our favorite horror movie of all time. But yeah, this one, crazy combination of cast, and I think it's listed sometimes as comedy, but I'm like, I don't know. Is it comedy? I don't remember it being that funny, but I kind of watched this growing up. Perfect childhood movie here, and I think it's decently scary. It's a little more. Well, it's not grounded at all. This would never happen, but it's a real life creature, so it feels like, oh, this is out there.
No.
And I think when it is practical effects of a snake, I think it looks just more tangible than some of the sequels to this one. The second sequel is right tied with the original, or the first sequel, Hunt for the Blood Orchid, is right there with the original. I love them both. Um, but this one with that tangible, see, whatever, I don't know, animatronic snake looks really cool. And even when it's CG, it's you can notice it, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst that I've seen when you go back and watch some of these, especially like creature feature horror movies that can get pretty bad. And it's even better than some. It's better than the later ones. Better than Anaconda 3 and 4. That's for sure. But it's just fun. It's just fun, and it goes, and the action's really good, I think, and the way they use the snake is interesting. It didn't feel like they just copped out and said, "It's a snake movie. Here you go." And they'll eat up anything. Felt like they actually tried to make some really nice, fun sequences.
Yeah, I really like this one. It was kind of one of my thoughts, but I was like, yeah, I think there was too much. There is like a night scene in it, and maybe if it was more in the night the whole time, it would maybe be more horror-esque
Oh, yeah,
to me. But I think because it's light out a lot of the scenes, I think that's probably what
that's
changed it
true.
for me. But I do like it as a movie.
That's true. That's true. Oh
And
boy.
what? I'm already on number five,
Yes,
and
and
I'm going back. Getting back to the zombie films, the
ooh,
spooky ones, very spooky, very scary, definitely horror, uh, or maybe spoofy. And this is Shaun of the Dead.
ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like I said, I like comedy movies, and yeah, I don't. This one maybe has a couple more spooky-ish kind of thing, not spooky or whatever, a little more kind of
Yeah,
things going on than maybe um, scary movie, but. At the end of the day, it is definitely comedy, and it's just something I like. It's kind of a different. I think there's going to be people that don't like this style of humor. I think it's pretty solid, and yeah, I think the cast in this one is pretty good. I think they
yeah.
work together really well. Even I don't know. Is it just I was just thinking of him wanting to what was it off his was it his father-in-law or
Oh yeah,
whatever?
his stepfather.
Yeah, stepfather or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb, but I like it. It's my kind of dumb.
That is
Uh,
good. That
and
is
yeah,
fun.
it's people say probably it's not horror, and I don't know that I
I
can fight. I don't think I can fight against that.
I think there's enough in there. I mean, it's not totally spoof like a scary movie where it's like totally slapstick something where it's like there's death here, there is death here
Yeah,
and loss and like these are real characters and it's never like totally breaking the fourth wall. So I think it works.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh boy. So he likes zombies as long as it's like foreign and it's in UK or wherever 28 is and this. The
yes,
only time he'll
exactly.
watch them.
That's the only time I'll watch zombies.
Ooh, and I'm going back to the creature features again, dipping back into that well, that water, that deep blue sea water, and I still can't believe there's not a better poster out there for this movie than this. My goodness.
That's bad.
That is
That is
pretty bad.
doing the movie a disservice.
It is. I'm like, what? Okay, the shark's not that big. Um, and where the heck is LL Cool J? Come on, this one's another one with a great cast. You got, I mean, Thomas Jane, he's in a lot of stuff, The Mist and different things. He's in this one, LL Cool J. Stellan Skarsgård. Oh, I didn't know he was in that one. I think he might be the guy from Thor, like that scientist. Is he the father of Jane or something, or he's works with her? I don't know what he is. Samuel L. Jackson, much bigger name there. Big cast here, and this one is Jaws is the best shark film. Deep Blue Sea is the best shark movie. The fun time popcorn movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. They're engineered sharks to be stronger. What is it? Bigger, smarter, faster, meaner. And it seems like they have a good budget too. So it's not just CGI, doesn't look good, terrible acting. It's just kind of got everything, checked all the boxes. Some twists and turns, characters that die in shocking ways, characters you didn't think would die, and I'm like, it's a lot of fun. Another one with some fantastic sequences in there as well. Definitely see this one if you're interested at all in shark movies and haven't seen this one. Gotta see it. Again, maybe
Yeah,
not the scariest. I don't like being in the water with sharks, so it's scary for me, but maybe not the keep you up at night scary that you
yeah,
might think for favorite horror movies.
that's true. But yeah, that's another solid movie. Um, but yeah, my number four, I'm just sticking with brand new, and yeah, this one is also in a whole series franchise of movies, and I probably actually like almost the entire franchise in this one. I could probably put almost all of them in here, but I think this one kind of like 28 years later. Maybe it's just because it's new, but it feels like it could be one of the favorites, or it's my favorite right now, and that's Final Destination: Bloodline Rules. No, Bloodlines, and yeah, I maybe like Final Destination. It would be two, I think. Final
Oh, yeah.
Destination 2. I could see that maybe being my top one from this. I like them all. But I thought this did a pretty good job, and it took on a new kind of interesting thing of if Death was slowly coming back and offing all the characters in typical fashion of a Final Destination movie, but took so long that these people that it was trying to take out were having families and stuff and possible multiple generations. Like, how would it do that? How would it go up against the whole family in what order and stuff and how that would happen? And I think it just feels fresh for the Final Destination franchise, and I thought it worked pretty well. And they had, I don't know, a couple twists in there that I liked, and yeah, otherwise it felt very Final Destination-esque. Um, if you like the other ones, I think you'd probably like this one as well. Might not be your favorite, but I don't see why you'd be like, "Oh, I like all of them, but this one." So
Yeah.
if you have not seen it, I'd recommend it if you like the Final Destination franchise.
Yeah, I agree. This one is my favorite for sure. And I think mainly just the characters, set of characters here, I think is the best of the series.
Mhm.
But good pick. It almost made my list, but when I knew for sure it was going to be on your list, then I'm like, I'll get 20 different, as many different listed movies as possible. But it could have made
Wow,
me.
wow, 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 wow,
It's good.
wow.
It's good. And I mentioned earlier that we'd have another film from James Wan, director of the Conjuring movies, at least the first two. And this is the one that I like the most of his, and it's maybe the one that I'd also say is definitely not for everybody, and it's maybe not the best quality movie, but it's one that I personally very much enjoy, and that is Malignant. I think there's a couple weird things in this one. Have you ever seen this movie?
Hmm.
You've seen it. It sticks in your head. Whatever happens in this movie, it's memorable. And that's just something that since I've seen it a couple times, and I'm just like, this is the one of the wildest. It looks like it's just going to be a regular haunting movie, and there are haunted house aspects of it, and it kind of starts out that way, but it evolves and changes. But I just go into it not knowing anything and experience it like that, thinking you're getting just a regular old haunted house, and it'll take you crazy places, and it's just a very unique thing that I actually know what happened after I watched it. Most of these movies, I'm like, something was haunted because of something mumbo jumbo, whatever. This one, I know the relation between the good and the bad and why things are the way they are. Sure, not everything still makes sense, but um, it changes genres a few times in there, and it's a unique film, and it's kind of my go-to, like something I want to show to somebody to see how they react because they could love it and they could absolutely hate it, and it's kind of my go-to movie for that. It's a lot of fun and
Wow.
wild. James Wan camera movements and action. It's cool. It's a cool, wild movie, and I love that it exists.
I don't know if I agree with you on this one, but I guess you could put it on there if you
Oh,
want.
I was hoping you hadn't seen it so I could get you to watch it and you would just hate me for it.
Oh boy.
Oh,
It's something else.
it's
It
fun.
is something else. Unlike my number three, though, which is all time classic. Now we're going back. I'm going back to olden times, the good old times of movies. Not quite as far back as you went with your choices, but going with another zombie film. So did
Wow.
have my do have a lot of zombie
Got more
ones.
zombies than me at this point, I think.
It's kind of shocking. I'm surprised. I wouldn't have thought I'd have that many. But maybe this was back in a phase. But there was just always something about this one, Dawn of the Dead. Uh, I guess the
Ooh.
is it the newer one? Would you
The
call it that, or is there even a newer one?
remake 2004. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Release the Snyder Cut.
Yes. But yeah, I just oh, this is my go-to to go back and watch actual um, horror. It is more horror in this one
Yeah.
versus a lot of my other picks. And yeah, I just always something about it that I just always liked, and I don't know if it's the cast that just maybe works together. They make dumb decisions like in all horror films. You question things, but it always made me wonder, like just whether it be a zombie apocalypse or just whatever kind of everyone vanished or whatever. Like how what would it be like living in a mall? I think it
Yeah.
just always gives that kind of feeling, and what does a mall have to offer? Is kind of
Mhm.
what this movie always made me think. Um, but then also had kind of some fun parts in it as
Yeah.
well that I think just bring the cast together in a good way. And they kind of have all different kinds of characters in the
Yeah.
cast too.
They do.
All kinds. It
I
attracts
think
all
it's
kinds.
I think it's a
Uh,
good mix, and I think James Gunn was somewhat involved in some of the writing of it, so maybe that's why, because he's good at making like a ragtag band of characters, and maybe that's why, because it does really kind of stand out. Like, oh, they got some really good characters in
mhm,
this here.
yeah, and maybe it's just the way they play off each other well.
Yeah,
Uh, but
yeah.
no, this is probably my go-to zombie movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you said this is the best zombie movie of all time, I couldn't really argue with you. It's just maybe a little too bleak and mean at points to really be
Yeah,
something I'd go and be like, oh, I can't wait to watch that again. Not something I want to fall asleep to for sure. But it has a lot of fun in there and it covers so many aspects that you think about, like when you're thinking, okay, what would I do? Like you said, go into a mall and the armored vehicles. Like it's just a lot of fun and
yeah,
it goes for it for sure. So
yeah.
good pick, good pick. And I don't think anyone's
Also
gonna.
reminds me of South Park episode,
Oh yes, the
the homeless
homeless.
one.
Oh man, we just make this into South Park episodes already. Okay, my number three. We're back to the creature features, except this one is ironically less grounded than Anaconda and Deep Blue Sea because this is not a real creature.
Sharknado.
And it's ironic because they are in the ground. This is Tremors. Another one with what a cast. Well, it's Kevin Bacon. That's the cast that really stands out here. And this one also includes the second one. I don't
Bert.
know. Back in the day, they just used to make a good sequel. They don't know how to make it anymore, but the second one where they start walking on the land, the little ones, what is that? Aftershocks. I think I like those two about equally, that and the original. After that, it gets a little too crazy as they start flying and getting certain names to these creatures.
Yeah, I think I'm still fine at number three, but
Okay.
it is definitely different. I do like the first two the most,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say I do like the Anaconda and Tremors and stuff. I guess I didn't end
But
up putting them on this list, but that is fair. They are creature features, and
yeah,
um,
they're not.
I prefer these kind of movies versus a lot of the like Friday the 13th and
Yeah.
the um, Nightmare on Elm Street kind of like I like those two together against each other, but um, yeah, I much prefer watching these versus that or Halloween and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot lighter. They're not as scary, but I'm like, it's technically horror, so I'm gonna put it on there.
Yeah,
This is the only video anyone sees of our opinions on horror movies. I'm putting ones that I actually love. I'm not gonna exclude them just because they're a little too funny or something like that. But another one, good mix
yeah.
of humor and action and just concepts that are fun to think about. What if it could sense your movement in the ground and how do you play the floor is lava pretty much and stay away from these monsters. Really cool creature design. Just
Hmm.
reinvented each movie as well. And I think I still have to see one of them, one of the later batch that they made more recently,
You
Shrieker
have to.
Island. I don't have to probably, but it's not the biggest drop in quality. It could be worse from the from four to five and six and seven direct to Netflix whatever sequels, but no, those first two were quite special.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good pick. Good pick. My number two is one that we decided was the perfectly amount of rated, not overrated, not underrated. It's perfectly rated. Uh, that is Cabin in the Woods.
ooh, it's a good one.
It's an interesting cover there.
That is. That's a
It
cool one.
always makes it seem maybe creepier than the movie actually
It
is.
does.
But yeah, this one is kind of the horror version of Scary Movie. Would that be
Oh, yeah,
not quite, but kind
I
of
can see
like
it.
that.
I can see it.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it does the tropey things and sees the tropey things, and it actually is the behind the scenes of why all these horror movies kind of thing. Sort of in a
Yeah.
way, it's kind of suggesting that that's what's putting it on. We must keep doing these kind of things. There must
Yeah.
always be that whoever wanted to die got to be the comic relief, got to be the final girl. Um, I think it just somehow manages to do that really well. And I don't know if there were other movies that tried to do that kind of thing before, but it just felt like this just did it like perfectly on the first try. I don't know. It feels
Mhm.
like the first try and it just did it like perfectly. Uh
Yeah.
Showed like, oh, a random monster thing is going to appear
Oh,
based
yeah.
on whatever they do here. So any of these possible things could happen. And yeah, I really liked it a lot. And then kind of them getting behind the scenes and stuff and releasing all these crazy monster labs. Yeah,
It
I really like this one.
is.
I like what it represents in the horror genre.
Oh, yeah. For sure. This one, yeah, I thought I was being spoiled. I'm like, oh no, I know that there's people behind this and all this stuff, but it's like that's like right away, you know that, and I'm like, oh, I
Mhm.
wasn't spoiled. And it does. It has an idea and it executes it, and it's like you said, perfect, and it's fantastic. It's a lot smarter. I think even the trailers don't like look like they're this unique type of movie. They look more basic, and if that kind of turns you off of it, I would say check it out. It is a special one. I'm sure people have heard of it. It is very correctly rated and loved by the fans.
Yes.
And yeah, I think Hemsworth was in this. I think it came out maybe like after Thor, so it's kind of weird, but he was
Yeah,
filming it
when I always
before or
think of that, I'm like,
something.
yeah, I always think of, I'm like, was this like pre-Thor Hemsworth? I'm terrible at when like movies came out or remembering kind of the time. I'm like, it had to be it had to be about the same time. So it's just an interesting thing. I'm like,
Yeah,
interesting.
cool. That is cool. Okay, my number two could be my number one because my number one is not nearly as scary, but I like that one more. So my number two is a franchise and probably every entry in the franchise that is directed by the next Spielberg. Well, actually, I say Spielberg was the first John Krasinski. That's what I say. Because when I see the sequences that he crafts in A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2, and I'm like, these are just smart. All the little details that you just build up in your mind, the tension side by side. It brings me back to Jurassic Park where they're climbing the fence, she's turning on the electricity, they're nudging the car, they're falling off a cliff, they're in the kitchen. I'm like, it's that same kind of just well crafted sequences in A Quiet Place with that
Okay,
nail.
don't you even begin to pretend
It's
those are the. That is one of the
better.
greatest of all
It's
time. And
better.
compare that to this. I don't. What sequence in here is that good?
You've got he's out in the field, he's out in the cornfield and he's running. And she's
With the
giving
children
birth, and
of
they
the
got the
corn.
nail, and they got the kids in the corn, the children of the corn. And it just all builds to this tension at the climax of the film, and I think it just does a fantastic job there. Another one that's just a situation that you put yourself in having to be quiet because these aliens can hear you. Another cool design for the aliens. And how do you be quiet and how do you live? It's not so dark. It does present some hope for the future because they are still having a family life, so it's not too bleak or dark like some movies that kind of make me not like those as much. There's always a little bit of hope in here and finding ways to fight back. But yeah, it's just a really cool idea that I think delivers it perfectly. Even when they change directors, do the spin-off in New York Quiet Place Day One, could honestly be my favorite of the trilogy. And I mean, it's crazy because that one's a lot different style. It's not so. I don't think the sequences are as intense in that one, but it kind of builds up this friendship between the characters instead and focuses on that, and I think that's really nice. So really, any of these, they're just fantastic films, and I can't wait for number three of the family's story. It's a modern classic, Zach.
Yeah, okay. The first one I did like day one ish was pretty good. But second one, come on.
I used to think that. I used to say, what's
You
the
never
point of the
once
second?
thought it was bad. You
I was like,
immediately said it was greatest of all
I
time.
was like, we don't need the sequel. It's gonna be forgotten. It might still be forgotten. What did we even accomplish here? But it's still a good experience.
Sure. That one did not need to be made. But yeah, the first one, it is good. It does have some of those moments, but uh, just with the ending of the first one and then into the second one, to me, it just
It's the
I don't know.
same thing. It didn't do
I
anything
don't
new.
know. I don't know. I mean, it is, but yeah, it just feels too similar for me
Yeah,
personally.
I agree. I agree, but I liked it a lot more on
Yeah,
rewatch. But I do hope we don't get the same ending again for the
that would
third
be my
one.
worry. That would be my worry. But hopefully not.
Yeah,
Hopefully they're like, oh, day one ish. I guess I don't know how well that did. Um,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But am I number one? Oh boy, it's the most evil of all my picks. Very evil. A lot of evil stuff going on happening. And yeah, this one people probably aren't going to agree with me. But it's my pick, and it is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Very scary. Uh,
Yeah.
there's some gore in this movie and some things happening. I mean, look at those some hillbillies there, and they're gonna cause some chaos. Uh, they're gonna do some bad things. Bad things.
Oh, it's just seeing the poster. It's making me want to watch it.
Yeah, this is one I put on every now and then, and yeah, it. probably isn't actually one that I watch like during October. I haven't in the past. It's probably just one I put on at any time of the year. Uh, might just happen to fall in October, but I don't know if maybe it's not a horror film, but I like to think it is, just because of what's going on. And yeah, it's more of a comedy, and that's just the style of movie I like. And it's built up as the horror from the other side kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it exactly. But yeah, it it tickles me as well. I really like these types of movies that
Yeah,
just take on these interesting things where it's like they see you see it from their point of view, and then you see it from the other people's point of view, which would typically be the point of view we'd be getting during a movie, and it makes you think, are these evil people always actually bad, or
yeah.
they just get caught up in some bad things?
Just one thing leads to another, and it's just a big misunderstanding.
I don't even know why I ever watched this one in the first place, but
Yeah,
boy, am I glad I did, because this does not seem like the type of thing that I would ever have watched initially just
no,
randomly. So I'm surprised,
yeah, that is,
especially that I got like a DVD of it. I'm pretty sure I got that
yeah.
before I'd ever watched it,
That
which
was
is
that was
more
a
shocking to
long,
me.
long time ago. I guess probably right when it came out. I don't know. I don't get it.
Makes no sense.
But yeah, it is a good one. And it's kind of like two picks. Your top two are kind of these maybe meta humor kind of take on the genre of horror and a
Yeah.
little bit of comedy. I don't think that they're not horror. I think you have a good enough case for both of them to be horror. I mean, they're in that genre. They're making fun of the genre, so they're in the genre. It's just
That's how it
maybe
works.
not for the hardcore horror fans who are like
Yes.
Exorcist
Yeah.
#1 ever since they were 5 years old and saw it.
Grudge, The Ring, all these spooks.
Too spooky. Too spooky. Oh man. Oh yeah. Well, I never was gonna have my #1 on this list because it's not a horror movie to me. It's a zombie movie, but I've never considered it a scary horror movie. It's technically listed as a horror movie, and since I started putting Anaconda and Deep Blue Sea and Tremors on here, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm already right there. So why not put my favorite zombie movie, World War Z,
Yeah,
as
I was wondering if
#1?
I was wondering if this would be on here. I'm like, ugh, I like World War Z, and I guess it could be. I mean, the zombies are very, very fast, and
Yeah,
it does make it scary. So
yeah.
I think it is closer. To me, this one is closer to horror than maybe some of your last few picks. Not to say that I don't
Okay.
also like those movies, but in terms of horror,
Yeah.
and definitely much more horror than any of mine.
Yeah, it doesn't really go away from the scary because it's not like a comedy or anything, but
Right.
just being like a Brad Pitt film, it's not going to be this big, gory, bloody zombie movie that we're used to with Walking Dead and different movies. So I guess as a zombie movie, it feels pretty tame, but if you don't watch any of those and this is your first thing going into there, I think it would probably be pretty scary to think of this situation. And I really like it. It's fast paced. It's going from one location in the world to the next. He's the only man who can do it. I don't even know his job or why he's qualified for any of this, but he's the man to figure it out because he's Brad Pitt and we pay him a lot of money to be in this movie. And there's cliches, there's jumps in logic. Why does this work? Why does that work? Why is he the only guy who can do it? But I just love all the sequences in here. I think he looks great. This is prime Brad Pitt. Look at him right there. Even better. Got the long hair. Even better than Bullet Train Brad Pitt here. And yeah, the ending. Apparently they reshot like all the ending, the whole third act. And I'm like, it does feel like it because then they just crash a plane and they're at a new location and they go to the lab. And I'm like, that does feel very added on now that I know that. But it's a really good sequence in there, even if there is a very illogical part to their plan in there. That's very stupid. It's fun. It's intense. It's not too bleak. And it's big budget. It's big budget zombie, and we don't get a lot of those Nowadays, a lot of cheaper, straight to TV, straight to movie, trying to make a buck. But this one had the money, gonna make a sequel, but then it didn't work out. China doesn't like ghosts and demons and zombies. I'm like, you're right next to Japan. They got the scariest stuff out there. But apparently, China didn't like zombies, so we didn't ever get a sequel, even though Brad Pitt was on board. I'm like, I thought that would be the hardest part. So please, Brad Pitt. I saw an HGTV show. You gave your makeup artist a new house. So give us World War Z out of your own money. Make it happen, World War Z 2. We're dying for a sequel a decade later. Oh, I don't think it's gonna happen, but fingers crossed. Someday
You
we get
never
it.
know.
It's
You
the
never
best
know. You never know.
best zombie movie ever made.
Wow. I was laughing when you were talking about the going traveling to places in the plane crash because then I remembered going back to old classic like all these other movies. South Park, World War Zimmerman.
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh, they've done it all. They have done it all.
They've done all these movies.
Oh,
I
that's
mean, they
so
have
funny.
what Imagination Land, which probably had.
Yeah,
I think that has Freddy and Jason in it, and
I think
they
so.
probably have hit almost every single one of these things, which is
They really
insane. So
have.
South Park is the true number
A
one
true master of
horror.
horror.
But yeah, let us know in the comments below how wrong I was with my picks, or who had the better picks. What's your favorite pick out of all the ones we listed here? What your top 10 horror films are, which ones you'd recommend. Maybe after watching this, what movies, I guess it could be horror, non horror,
Yeah.
especially since a lot of mine have some comedy in them. You'd think, oh, if you like that kind of humor, probably like this. Let us know in the comments below, because always looking for good new comedies. I feel like comedy's been a bit dead for a while.
Yeah.
It's some that are sort of funny, or that's kind of the side to them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to find my next comedy film,
Ooh,
comedy horror.
yes.
But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that movie theater or microwavable popcorn or that Halloween candy.